Hey everybody, Charles for HumbleMechanic.com. Today's Tuesday, so we are talking about failed Volkswagen parts. Today we're going to be talking about the Mark 5 or A5 platform Jetta driver's door harness failure. Before we get rolling into the effects of failure and how it fails, sponsor of the day. Sponsor of the day today is DeutschAutoparts.com. They are the Volkswagen Audi parts expert. Great prices, incredible DIYs that they have on their website. Incredible service, top-notch at every level. I highly recommend them. They're a great bunch of guys. Check them out, DeutschAutoparts.com. They actually have a really good DIY on how to replace this part. I'll put a link to that specific DIY and their website in the show notes today, so check them out, DeutschAutoparts.com. So, Mark 5 Jetta platform door wiring harness. Inside this boot right here, that's where the failure happens. What specifically fails? So, what we're looking at on a failure of this is actually broken wires inside of this boot right here. Unofficially, the harness is a little bit too short. So what happens is this piece plugs into the body of the car, and this is your door side, and every time you open and close the door, this happens. And over time, the wires break. So the wires are a little short. They're actually a little bit more rigid than I think I would prefer to see in a door wiring harness. And think about it. It's the driver door. So anytime you use the car, that's the door that gets manipulated. You can actually see this is a whole octopus, as my wife called it, of, of wires. So this actually controls everything inside the driver's door. We can flip it around the other way, and now we have the passenger door. The rear doors are a little bit different, but not terribly. So what happens when this door harness breaks? Well, this is an easy diagnostic one. When the stuff in your driver's door stops working, this is usually the culprit. It'll stop all function of the door. It can stop partial function of the door. It can stop maybe just the windows functioning. It can stop the ability to lock and unlock the driver's door. Now, it is a little bit different than failure of the door latch itself, which is this plug right here. Generally, failure of a door latch is only affected by lock-unlock of the doors, but failure of these wires, depending on which ones break, it can be all the door functions, none of the door functions, maybe functions when the door harness is stretched, when the door's open, or maybe when it's closed. It all depends on how these wires inside of here actually break. Door latch failure won't affect window operation, so that's a good way to tell whether it's a door latch or whether it's this guy right here. What do we do when this happens? Is this a repair part or a replace part? I have actually tried to make repairs inside of this boot, and it's really difficult because you got to remember this plugs into the body of the car and this is in the door, so you only have this much space to work in. Not to mention you're pulling the boot back, so you really only have about 2 inches or so of space in order to make a repair. You can do it, you can solder these connections, you can use butt connectors, but I find that they really don't last very long. It's maybe a good interim fix, especially if we're talking about these wires inside of here being a little too short. You don't really... let me put it this way, a repair isn't a long-term solution. Now, if you wanted to replace this harness, that's an easy deal. It's all this stuff. It's actually a lot more intimidating than it really is to replace, but there is one way that you could make a repair in this boot, and that would be to depin this connector right here and repin the wires somewhere inside of the door, maybe back here. So you'd basically be adding a pigtail into the harness. It's doable. It's a lot of work. I don't think the return on your investment of time is really worth it. These harnesses aren't terribly expensive. I would go ahead and put a new harness in it if it were me making that on my car. So you have, in the door, part of this is in behind the door panel inside, and then part of it comes back out through the door. So you got a lot going on here. If it were me, I would go ahead and throw a new one in the car and call it good. If you are going to be doing this repair, this is not a terribly difficult part to replace. Yes, there's a ton of connectors. Yes, you have to take the outer door skin of your Jetta apart. yes, you have to take the inner door panel of your Jetta off. But the cool thing about Volkswagen harnesses, they're built incredibly well after the fact. So when you buy this part, everything is in the right spot. So you're going to plug this into the body of the car. This piece runs through into where the door panel is. There's actually another connector that it looks like I cut off right there. And then you have clips. These green guys right here are clips that go in the door. And all the way through, this comes back out. You have airbag connector, door connector. Airbag connectors are always yellow, or almost always yellow. I don't want to say always yellow because there's probably one that's not. So you have a lot of connectors, and the cool thing is the spacing is all correct on these harnesses. So replacement isn't difficult. Whenever you're doing something like this where there's a ton of stuff, I always recommend take your cell phone, snap a picture of it, so then you can refer back to it and go, oh, that's where the blue connector plugs into, in case you're ever not sure. You don't need really any specialty tools. There are a couple extra tools, Torx bits and triple squares that you do need. So if you don't have a massive tool collection, those might be a couple you want to add in. But if you're doing a lot of Volkswagen Audi repairs, then that's important and you got to have them because there's a ton of Volkswagen Audi stuff that uses Torx bits and triple squares. Now, one thing that I got to make sure you guys know is these are actually different based on VIN. There's two different part numbers for this harness. So when you're getting this harness, make sure you have the VIN of your vehicle available and get the right one, because you don't want to get one that maybe is missing a connector or has too many connectors, and the pins in this main harness or the pins in the module harness, which is also the window motor, are different. Make sure you got your VIN. That's pretty much it. If you're not sure, grab the VIN of your vehicle. Give Deutsche Auto Parts a call. I know these guys sell this harness. Paul and I have talked about this harness at length, and they can get you guys dialed in with the right one. Again, just make sure you have your VIN. You don't need the year or anything else. They can look it up based on the VIN of your vehicle. That actually tells all about the car and what it is and when it was built and where it was built and whatnot. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This is a pretty common harness. I want to say there may have been a class action lawsuit on some of them. I don't know the specifics. If you want to know the specifics, I recommend Googling it. You'll probably find your answer. Again, thank you guys for watching. Hey, if you like the video, throw it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or on the blog. Hey, there's a lot of you guys that are watching this on YouTube right now, and you may not know that I have a website too. It's called humblemechanic.com, oddly enough. Hop over there and check it out. There's a ton of great information, years and years and years of blog posts and cool stuff. There's a search box. Fire in what you're looking for, and you'll probably find it. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Check out the blog, all that stuff. Humble Mechanic. It's pretty easy. I try to make it as simple as possible to find me everywhere. As always, your questions and comments are more than welcome. Feel free to post anything you guys would like, comment and question-wise, in the comment section below. I really appreciate it. Good feedback. If you have an idea for a failed part show like this one, throw it down in the show note in the comments section, and I'll check it out. And if it's something that I can get worked out for you guys, I'll be more than happy to. I've been hoarding old parts since we started doing this series on the show, and I got like 3 boxes of stuff. So I got a ton of stuff, ton of cool stuff coming out. Shout out to Deutsche Auto Parts again for sponsoring today's show. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.